agility, thriving in a world of permanent disruption. My name is Elizabeth Moore, and I am Chief Academic Officer at Regenesys Education, and I also head up the Postgraduate Business School. And in my role, I oversee academic strategy and quality across all of our programs, as well as lead a dynamic team across 7 schools within the institution. With over 25 years of experience in business consulting, leadership development, and also education, I'm really deeply passionate about helping professionals like you grow, lead, and thrive, both personally and professionally. But colleagues, before I was a faculty leader, I was very much a student too. In fact, I've dived into a number of programs, and the one that really had the greatest impact in both my personal and professional domains was none other than the Masters in Business Administration. It was truly one of the most defining experiences of my professional life. It didn't just sharpen my thinking. It reshaped the way that I led. It shaped the way that I showed up. It challenged me to unlearn outdated habits, to expand my perspective, and also to step into rooms I once didn't feel ready for. It gave me language for ideas that I'd only ever felt intuitively, and it also gave me the confidence to take risks that led to real impact. And that's why today's session means so much to me. This masterclass is not a lecture, colleagues. It's a window into what it takes to lead in this world. Not the one that we trained for a decade ago, but the one that we are facing now. It's fast moving, it's tech driven, and it's profoundly uncertain. We are living through what leadership theorist Warren Bennis might have called a crucible moment, a time that tests not just what we know, but how we think, how we adapt, and how we lead. The world is no longer changing by the decade or by the year. It's changing by the week. Artificial intelligence, automation, ESG priorities, platform economics, and geopolitical volatility are reshaping industries in real time. And in this new environment, competence is no longer enough. What's required of today's leaders is not just knowledge, but agility. It's not just experience, but vision. It's not just planning, but the ability to pivot with purpose and speed. So this masterclass is designed to help you begin building that leadership muscle, strategic agility. So whether you're already leading large teams, or perhaps you're preparing to take on a greater responsibility, this skill is no longer optional. It's what separates the relevant from the obsolete, the disruptors from the disrupted. So as we begin, I invite you to think not just about how you work, but how you lead, how you sense change, how you respond to that change, and how you shape the future through the teams, the systems, and the processes and the decisions that you influence every single day. So colleagues, let's begin with a story that shows just how much a single moment can reshape everything, and how agility can turn crisis into comeback. Imagine this. You're running one of the hottest tech companies in the world, valued at $30 billion US, operating in 191 countries, over 7 million listings, and your name is synonymous with modern travel. Then overnight, literally overnight, 80% of your business vanishes. Borders close, travel bans hit, the world literally locks down. And yes, I'm referring to the COVID pandemic. Your customers no longer want adventure, they want safety. and the very essence of your platform, staying in someone else's home, becomes a global health risk. This wasn't a slow decline in business. It was an absolute cliff. Revenue evaporated, hosts pulled out, bookings collapsed, employees feared for their jobs, and the future of the business, one that many called unstoppable, was suddenly in question. And yes, colleagues, I'm referring to Airbnb. But now here's the twist. What Airbnb did differently is this. They didn't freeze. They didn't overanalyze. They moved quickly, boldly, and with clarity. And they pivoted their business in three key ways. Firstly, they repositioned for long-term stays to serve remote workers and also students who were stuck far from home. Then they promoted local travel, city escapes, countryside cabins, and off-the-grid getaways. And finally, they launched virtual experiences, cooking with a chef in Rome, meditating with a monk in Japan, or wine tasting in Napa Valley, all from your living room. So what made this possible? Airbnb sensed the shift. They sensed the shift in consumer fears, in consumer behaviors, and also their needs. They seized it before competitors could figure out how to respond. They took that first giant leap forward, and they shaped a new direction, rooted not in their old model, but in what the world actually needed at that moment in time. They leaned into their purpose, belonging anywhere, even if that meant from your home. So what was the result? Not only did they survive, they staged a historic comeback. And by the end of 2020, Airbnb IPO'd with a market cap of over 100 billion US dollars. Colleagues, that's not luck. That's not perfect foresight. That is what we refer to as strategic agility. And that's what today's session is about. It's about learning how to lead when the playbook no longer applies. So what does Airbnb's pivot teach us? It shows us that agility isn't theoretical, it's operational. Strategic agility is what allows an organization to absorb shocks and to respond, not just with survival instincts, but with evolution. But Airbnb's story doesn't stand alone. It's a symptom and a signal of something much bigger. We're living in a time where the very fabric of how businesses operate is being challenged. And that's exactly where we're going to head next. So colleagues, the old model of business, what we refer to as the machine paradigm, was built for predictability and control. But today's world doesn't play by those rules anymore. Here's why strategic agility has become a leadership imperative. The environment is evolving faster than we can plan for. Stakeholders' expectations, from customers to your employees to even your regulators, are shifting weekly. And what worked last quarter might be irrelevant today. New technologies are rewriting business models. Think AI, think robotics, think the industrial revolution, think the Internet of Things and bioengineering. Entire industries are being digitized, automated, or replaced. Thirdly, we're looking at information that is now abundant and fast. So with real-time access to data, organizations are being held accountable much faster than previously. And they need to collaborate more deeply and more transparently. And lastly, there's a new war for talent. People are no longer just looking for jobs. They're looking for meaning, for flexibility, and the ability to grow. And the most talented want to work where learning is constant and leadership is human. So while Airbnb is an inspiring example, it's also a preview. Every organization in every industry is being tested by these same forces. And the question that we need to ask ourselves is, will we resist the disruption, or are we going to lead through it? So colleagues, what exactly is strategic agility? In essence, it's the ability to sense shifts early, to make smart decisions quickly, and to realign people and resources to seize new opportunities. It's not about panicking or reacting. It's about staying ready always and leading with intention when the rules change. The trends described on the slide before are dramatically changing how organizations and employees work, and there's a dynamic interplay between the two. What then will be the dominant organizational paradigm in the next 100 years? How will companies balance stability and dynamism? Moreover, which companies will dominate their market, and how will they attract the best talent? I really love this phrase. Agility, it rhymes with stability. So let's explore one of the biggest myths about agility. And that is that it's all about speed and chaos. But the truth, in fact, is that most agile organizations are also the most grounded. So, what does this mean? It means that truly agile organizations don't live in constant flux. Instead, they've built a strong backbone, core principles, core values, systems, and processes and structures that evolve slowly. Think of this as the anchor that gives the organization stability. A lovely analogy to draw some correlation to is that of the human body. It actually demonstrates this concept perfectly. Your skeletal system, your spine, the bones that hold everything together, that is your stable structure. It provides the structure and the support without which obviously everything would collapse. But your muscles and your tendons and your neural pathways, well, these are dynamic. There's an interplay happening. They're constantly adjusting, responding to movement, responding to the environment, and also internal signals. And the body adapts instantly to stay upright, to keep you balanced, and also to keep you moving forward. And likewise, agile organizations have a stable core. It's those core values, it's those systems and those processes, it's the purpose of the organization that doesn't change with every trend. But surrounding that core, there are fluid elements. Teams flex in response to real-time feedback. Roles and resources shift to meet emerging needs. Communication flows openly and quickly, just like the nervous system. And when done well, the organization functions as one integrated system. It's responsive, it's resilient, and it's also intelligent. It's about moving with intention. It's about not relying on that rigid control. It's about trusting the signals and the systems and knowing that they will respond wisely. So agile organizations, like a healthy body, thrive by being both stable and dynamic. It's about holding that dichotomy in place at the same time. And that brings us to one of the most useful frameworks in understanding this balance. And that is McKinsey's 5 trademarks of agile organizations. So what are we referring to here, colleagues? First and foremost, McKinsey refers to the importance of strategy. And I love the way that McKinsey refers to this. They call it the North Star that is embodied across the organization. And agile organizations are guided by a very clear, crystal clear purpose. That is their North Star. And this unifies the organization. It shapes strategic choices, and it also helps people feel invested in delivering value, not just for shareholders, but for all stakeholders, which includes the likes of your customers, your employees, the communities that you serve, and also the partners. The North Star isn't static. It also evolves as new opportunities and needs emerge. Think of companies like Amazon and Patagonia, who anchor every initiative around their purpose, using it as a filter to enable decision making. Secondly, we talk about structure. And here, what we're actually referring to is a network of empowered teams. And instead of your traditional hierarchies, agile organizations operate as dynamic networks of small, empowered teams. These teams have clear missions. They operate with autonomy, and they also collaborate across functions to ensure that they deliver outcomes quickly. Think of Spotify's squads and tribes model, where cross-functional teams align around shared goals, but they remain flexible to adapt. The structure is flat, it's scalable, and it's also built for speed. The third one is process, and here what we're referring to is rapid decision-making and also learning cycles. And agility thrives on speed and iteration. It's about looking at what we have done previously. It's about analyzing what worked, what didn't work. We can follow the model of what do we need to stop, start, change, or continue. But rather than long planning and delivery cycles, agile organizations use short sprints, rapid prototyping, and continuous feedback loops. And this allows them to test, to learn, and also to adapt in real time. Examples are Google and Tesla, for instance, and they've replaced annual planning with what we refer to as quarterly OKRs, and also agile product development. It's about accelerating innovation without losing focus. Then we look at people. And here it's about a dynamic people model that ignites passion. People are the heartbeat of agile organizations. Leaders serve as coaches, not controllers. And it's all about cultivating a culture of trust, of ownership, and also of continuous learning. Roles are more fluid, growth is experience-based, and talent flows to where it's needed most within the organization. Companies like Zappos and Hire empower individuals to self-organize and to contribute meaningfully with autonomy and also with purpose. And then last but not least, it's about technology. And it's not just about technology, it's about next generation enabling technology. And agile organizations see technology not as a support function, but as a strategic enabler. So digital tools, modular platforms, data infrastructure, these are all embedded across the business to enable real-time collaboration, to enable insight, and also to enable action. Think of Amazon Web Services and also Netflix and how they use cloud-native architectures to support constant iterations and also seamless customer experiences. So we are familiar with all of these elements that are indicated as the 5 trademarks of agile organizations. And when these 5 elements are working in harmony, your organization doesn't just react to disruption. It adapts, it evolves, and it thrives. So colleagues, now that we've explored what makes an organization agile at a structural level, strategy, structure, process, people, technology, the question becomes, how do you, as leaders, actually use this agility. And that brings us to the next layer, which are the 5 domains of strategic agility. And here you will see that there is a dynamic interplay between those structural levels that we've just referred to. So what do you as a leader need to be mindful of? What should you be monitoring? What should you be focusing on to unlock potential within your organizations? Strategic sensitivity is your organization's radar. You need to ask yourself if you are tuned into the market shifts, the signals, and the emerging trends before they hit the mainstream. The strategic sensitivity really means that you are constantly scanning the horizon, that you are using multiple data points, that you're using your intuition, you're taking customer feedback into account. You're also doing those competitor analyses to anticipate rather than to react. Think of it almost as driving with your headlights on high beam. So you've got your brights on, and that allows you to see things before they're in your path. Then we look at something called collective commitment. And this is all about alignment. So the questions that you need to ask yourself here are, do your people across your organization understand your vision and your mission? And more importantly, are they invested in it? I cannot tell you how many times I have stepped into a consulting project to work with businesses on their strategic direction. And when you start to ask the hard questions, it's clearly evident that there is a disconnect between what leadership and the C-suite executives see as their vision and their mission, and how that is being translated to the teams and the individuals below. And in agile organizations, everybody pulls in the same direction. There is a shared sense of ownership and also psychological safety to contribute ideas and also challenge assumptions. Here, it's truly not about hierarchy. It's very much about cohesion. We also refer to this element called resource fluidity. Agility dies in rigid silos. And this domain is about how easily you can move people and funding and technology or time to where they're needed most. And in a fast-moving world, the ability to reallocate quickly can literally be the difference between surviving and leading a business successfully. We say in a fire, you don't check your job descriptions, you need to grab the nearest bucket. And that's exactly what this resource fluidity is speaking to. Again, stepping into various consulting projects, it's amazing to see how many organizations believe that they have fluidity within them. But when you actually have those conversations, what are referred to as courageous conversations with key stakeholders, it's evident that the business is definitely operating with a siloed mentality, and that the different departments or business units across the organization really do not know what each department is doing at the granular level. And that obviously impacts the abilities of the organization to move forward quickly, to adjust, to pivot. And this is a really critical element. Moving into the fourth domain is leadership unity. And agile organizations need clear, fast, and consistent decision making. Leaders must be aligned at the top. It's not about pulling in different directions. It's about ensuring that speed doesn't compromise strategy. It's about empowering your frontline teams to act with clarity and also with confidence. We say that if the head is confused, the body stalls, and that's exactly it. Everybody needs to be running the same marathon in the same direction. And it's up to the leadership team, your C-suite executives, to ensure that this is taking place. It's definitely not an easy task to get this right, but it's absolutely imperative if you are looking to create agility within the organization. And then again, last but not least, and this is the space that really does get my cylinders firing, is the one on learning and adaptation. Agility depends on how fast you can learn. This means that you are creating a culture of feedback. You are encouraging experimentation within the business. You're encouraging that people reflect, that they share their opinions or their diverse views on topics, on themes, on strategies, on the direction of where the organization is going. It's also encouraging failure. And this is often something that we see in organizations where failure is not encouraged and failure is not worn as a badge of honor. And truly it should be. We should be learning lessons as quickly as possible. We should be failing forward as quickly as possible. And agile organizations do just this. They learn fast, they share knowledge widely, and they are continuously improving themselves. In stable environments, it pays to be efficient, but in disruptive ones, it pays to be curious. These domains, colleagues, aren't just competencies. They're capabilities that you can build and also embed in your teams, in your business units, and in your organizations, using the very systems that we've explored in the 5 trademarks slide. And when the structure is right and the mindset is tuned, agility becomes more than a buzzword. It literally becomes your competitive advantage. So moving back to the analogy of the body, agility isn't just a company trait. It truly is a leadership muscle. And in today's disruptive environment, the most effective leaders don't just manage tasks. They cultivate the capacity to sense, seize, and shape change. And this is what I refer to as the agility triangle. So first we speak about sensing. Great leaders are not waiting for the next crisis to be obvious. Again, they are actively scanning their internal and external environments. They are tapping into as many data sets and data points as possible. They are picking up those early warning signals. They're looking at shifts in customer behavior. They're looking at team morale and behavior. They're looking at market data. They're doing the market research. They're listening to the industry chatter. And they are responding before disruption becomes disaster. So from a leadership perspective, what we need to do is step into the space of staying close to our customers and our teams. It's about encouraging those diverse views. It's also about encouraging our people to be curious, to ask the hard questions, to challenge the status quo. And it's about creating space and also psychological safety to have listening sessions, to have what we refer to as idea jams, to have those brainstorming sessions so that you are able to identify new ways of doing things, look at things through different lenses, look at things through different perspectives. That is what this sensing point is all about. Secondly, it's about seizing. So once a shift is sensed in the market, agile leaders don't stall. They make fast, informed decisions without waiting for perfect conditions, and they empower their teams to act and create space for experimentation. So as leaders in this domain, we want to prioritize action over perfection. We often refer to this thing called analysis paralysis. And it's exactly that. We want to delegate authority where the knowledge sits. And we also want to use keen tools such as your sprints, look at things such as your minimum viable product, your MVPs. And we also want to tap into things like your fast feedback loops. And this enables us to identify those opportunities, to seize them quickly, and to do something for them, do something with them, so that again, we are creating opportunities and unlocking potential for ourselves. And then it's about shaping. So agile leadership is not a solo act. It is very much a culture building practice. So we as leaders who want to step into the space and own and dominate it need to shape an environment again of psychological safety. I say this a lot, but it's so important because when we are pushing people out of their comfort zones into that zone that I refer to or we refer to as the growth zone, where unlearning and relearning and upskilling needs to take place, this is where the magic starts to happen. It's about embedding behaviors and new rituals that support responsiveness into every single level of the organization. So again, it's about encouraging learning and reflection. It's about building those decentralized structures within the business. And it's also about celebrating experimentation. And also, it's about celebrating those failures and encouraging our people to fail forward quickly. You don't need all the answers, colleagues. In fact, you just need the courage to move forward while continuously learning. So I want you to just take a moment and do a little bit of self-reflection. If you were to shine the spotlight on your personal and or your professional domains, if you are looking at the concept of sensing, seizing, and shaping, which do you most naturally lead with? And which one would create the biggest impact if strengthened in your lives and or in your organizations? So the question I really want to leave you with here is, where in your business or your career right now do you need to become more agile? Is it perhaps in your decision making? Is it perhaps in the speed in which you respond to clients or changes in the environment? Or is it maybe in the manner in which you empower your teams? These are the questions we should be asking ourselves, because that is how we start to do what I refer to as the deep work that allows us to identify where those blockages are, where those bottlenecks are, so that we can start to develop the necessary strategies to enable us to move forward successfully. And colleagues, this is where the Regenesys MBA takes center stage. Our MBA is not just a qualification. It's a leadership development journey. And it truly is designed to equip you with the tools to lead through uncertainty, to drive innovation, to make ethical, evidence-based decisions, and also to future-proof your career or your business. And the program blends deep academic rigor with practical application that ensures that you can learn in real time, you can implement what you are learning in your lives, in your business worlds, so that you can start to see and feel the difference immediately. So the Regenesys Group, colleagues, was founded in 1998 by three visionaries, and truly, they are visionaries. Dr. Marco Saravagna, Dr. Penny Law, and Dr. William Vivian. And they believed that education should do more than just transfer knowledge. They believed that education should transform lives. And they built an institution that is rooted in academic excellence, but designed to go further. It's about developing the whole person intellectually, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And today that spirit lives on in every innovation, in every classroom, and every digital platform, and also every conversation that we have with every key stakeholder, both internal and external to our business. We are truly proud to be Africa's largest and fastest growing business school, and we have a global footprint across 7 countries and counting. We have closing in on 1,600 employees who support the business, over 300 international faculty, and we have hundreds of thousands of alumni who are driving change around the world. And at Regenesys, we are not just about educating our students. We're about building a global network of conscious, capable leaders who are ready to shape the future. So what does this MBA program look like? When speaking to prospective and aspiring students, such as yourselves, I like to refer to the master's program as one that develops your generic management competencies, but not just that. What we are going to assist you in developing is your specialist generalist skills. Now, what am I referring to there specifically? This program, colleagues, is developed so that you are able to equip yourself with essential management competencies that will enable you to navigate today's business world. The program is an NQF Level 9 program. It comes with 230 credits, and it includes 11 compulsory modules, 2 electives, and a research dissertation. The program takes 2 to 2.5 years to complete. Why do I give a range there? The reason being that dependent on when you join the program, because we have intakes throughout the year, will depend on when you complete the program. Not just that, but obviously that research dissertation, which is a robust part of the program, can also take a little bit longer depending on the complexity of the topic that you choose to study. The courses or programs are offered both online and in contact, and this is obviously to suit diverse learning preferences and also to enable students to dial into our programs from across the globe. And this is also to allow our students to choose that which works best for them. So our program is tailored for suits. And what this means is that we are very mindful of the corporate student. The corporate student who not just has work responsibility, but generally also has family responsibility and is now also taking on academic responsibility. So this flexibility of the ways in which we deliver our programs, being online and in contact, obviously speaks to those learning preferences. How do we qualify for this program? So in essence, what we are looking for is that you have an NQF Level 8 program, which will obviously step you into an NQF Level 9. We're also looking for relevant work experience, and this for me is a critical element. We have facilitators who lead our programs. We don't refer to our facilitators as lecturers because we truly believe that learning takes place in the classroom, and there's this very specific way in which we enable this to take place. What we often see at the master's level is that our students are stepping into the classroom and that they are specialists in their own right. So we will have marketing specialists, your CMOs. We will have your finance specialists, your CFOs. We will have your HR specialists, your human capital C-suite executives stepping into the classroom. So those executives have very much carved themselves and specialized in a specific area or niche area for a long period of time. We bring those people into the classroom, and that's where the learning takes place. So dependent on the module, you will have different specialists who will show up louder in the classroom setting. And what we are looking for when we say relevant work experience is we are looking for students who have management and leadership experience behind them, who obviously have substantial, robust work experience behind them, because we expect there to be deep dialogue that takes place in those classroom sessions. There are debates. We send you out into different classroom activities, and we expect that that learning is shared, that you're able to hold those courageous conversations between you and your colleagues, because that's where you start to enrich the learning experience. You come in with concrete evidence rather than the should have, would have, could have. You can refer to examples of situations that you've experienced in the work environment. You can speak to a problem that you identified and the solution that you developed. And perhaps the solution that you developed didn't quite go according to plan and you needed to iterate along the way. And that is how learning takes place. It's about sharing experiences. It's about being able to see different events or cases through the eyes of your colleagues. And that is what makes this program so transformative. When we're looking at the pricing for the programs, obviously this is always a question that is asked. So for contact learning, you are looking at an annual fee of 175,000 Rand. And then for online tuition, you're looking at an annual fee of, call it 127,000 Rand. Important to note, colleagues, just understanding what has been happening in the higher education space is that our MBA program and our programs across our schools are CHE accredited and also registered with DHET. And this offers that comprehensive curriculum that really is designed to equip you with those essential management competencies to ensure your success, not just now, but also into the future. So what does the program look like? Many people want to understand what are the modules that you are going to be exposed to. And you can see on the slide in front of you right now that the core modules include a plethora of subjects. So we have the Advanced Personal Mastery module, and this is an intrinsic part of all of our programs. In the Advanced Personal Mastery module, you are going to do a lot of introspective work. And here what we are actually doing is we are developing our students holistically. I will come to shortly what that actually entails. But moving into the next subject, you're going to be looking at business research. Here you're going to learn how to design and conduct meaningful research. And that is going to enable you to inform business decisions and also strategy. Economics is a key one. That's understanding the principles of micro and macroeconomics and also how they impact markets and industries, and also looking at global trade. You're going to step into the space of conscious leadership. Our Dean, Dr. Sibongiseni Kumalo, and also Dr. Saraswati Kumar are incredible subject matter experts in this space. Here you're going to develop self-awareness and also ethical leadership practices so that you are able to drive sustainable, people-focused performance. Entrepreneurship is a space that I absolutely love. I lead this program, and here we explore the mindset and multiple models and tools and frameworks that are going to enable you to both build and scale innovative ventures. We also look at innovation, another exciting topic. Here you're going to gain insights into managing change. It's about fostering creativity. It's about implementing forward-thinking solutions. We're going to look at operations and supply chain management. And here it's about mastering the end-to-end processes that ensure efficiency, quality, and also customer satisfaction from the organization. Then we move into the space of human capital. So for human resource management, and this is an intrinsic one to business, is how do you align people to strategy? And how do you align those people to the organizational goals so that you are able to build and also foster a high performance culture? We then get into the space of money management. So financial management is going to teach you how to interpret financial data. It's all about those delicious ratios. It's about understanding what the numbers say. How do I translate those numbers into a narrative so that you can make informed decisions about the business, looking at how can you leverage the business? What is required in order to build the business out, in order to scale the business? And then from a strategic management perspective, here you're going to acquire tools to formulate and to implement and also to evaluate long-term strategies. And this is obviously, again, critical in navigating these dynamic environments in which we find ourselves. And then last but not least on this map is the strategic marketing management module. And this, again, it's about understanding customer behavior. It's about looking at market dynamics, and it is also about understanding how to position your offerings to ensure sustainable growth for the business. And each module in the core module program is designed to strengthen your ability to lead with confidence, to adapt with agility, and also to contribute meaningfully to any business or industry. We then step into the space of electives, colleagues, and here you would be selecting 2 out of the electives that are listed on the slide, and you can see that you have a choice of 6. And the electives are designed to empower our students to specialize in areas that are aligned with their professional aspirations and also emerging global trends. And these modules allow for deeper exploration of critical themes across leadership, innovation, and also organizational transformation. So business ethics and corporate governance, as we all know, is a critical module these days. We look at examining the ethical principles and governance frameworks that underpin responsible leadership. It's about transparency. It's about sustainable business practices. We all know about ESG. We know about sustainability. These are the buzzwords of the modern business world. And in this specific module, you will unpack all of those amazing concepts. There is the module on mergers and acquisitions, and here you're going to explore strategic, financial, and also the operational dimensions of M&A, from valuing a deal, so valuation, all the way through to structuring a deal, to integration of, and also very important part is cultural alignment in these mergers and acquisitions. International management, also a lovely elective to take, specifically for those of you who may be operating in a multinational corporation, or perhaps you are looking to pivot, move into an international organization. But here you will gain a global perspective on managing your cross-border operations. It's about navigating cultural complexity, and also it's about leading in international markets. Mentoring and coaching. This is, again, one of my favorites. I think it's because I dived deep into that space in my professional career. And here you're going to develop the skills to foster talent, to enhance performance, to understand the critical elements of personal development of people, your IDPs, your PDPs, It's about building high-impact leadership cultures through structured guidance and support. Organizational development and change. So here it's about understanding the dynamics of change. I cannot tell you how many projects I've stepped into in my consulting career where the element that has been forgotten or ignored is that of change management. And it's absolutely critical to understand how to identify the risks around change, how to mitigate the risks around change. So it's understanding those dynamics, it's understanding concepts around transformation, and also around organizational renewal. How do we breathe life into a business? What do we need to be mindful of when we are effecting change into a business? And how are we able to lead these processes effectively so that the changes that are effected are successful? And then again, last but definitely not least on this slide, is strategic IT management. And here it's about discovering how to leverage technology as a strategic enabler of innovation, of strategic agility. And also it's about creating a competitive advantage in this digital era in which we find ourselves. So colleagues, these electives equip you with the insight and again, that agility to lead in diverse industries. It's about learning how to adapt in complexity and to complexity. And also, it's about taking the lead. It's about taking charge of the future of the businesses in which you operate. So colleagues, I spoke about holistic growth and development, and I've alluded to this through my session today. But we really are focused on this as a key and core principle of our programs. At Regenesys, education, again, it's more than theory. It truly is about transformation. Yes, we offer the cutting edge programs in business, in digital technology and finance, in law and public management, across a multitude of sectors. And yes, we also give you access to global job opportunities, to corporate projects through our different initiatives. But more importantly, we really do focus on holistic development, developing the person in its entirety. And we believe that to succeed in this world, in the 21st century world, you need more than a qualification. You need to be emotionally intelligent. You need to be financially savvy. You need to be spiritually grounded. You need to be physically well. And that's why our learning model integrates this personal mastery program. So from a physical quotient perspective, it's about strengthening the body and the mind. So the body and the brain obviously have a dynamic interplay. It's about understanding how do you unlock potential at the physical level. I'm a firm believer that as leaders, we have got to build our physical resilience. We are hands-on at the coalface for a long period of time, every single day, and often 7 days a week. And that puts a lot of strain on the body and the brain. And we need to understand what tools and techniques there are available to us to strengthen our physiology. It is about developing our resilience. The stronger you are physically and mentally, the better you will be able to perform and show up as a leader in your businesses. It goes without saying that we are here to also sharpen your intellect. It's not just about the knowledge that you are going to acquire through the programs. It's also about teaching you how to think, and it's also about teaching you how to think about how you think. And we refer to that as metacognition. So we dive deep into this space. It's about looking at how can we improve your academic rigor. We offer additional value-added programs, which you will have access to within the learning management system, which you can go through in your own time. It's self-paced study, around things like writing skills, around typing skills for those of you who perhaps aren't able to touch type or who are maybe just typing at quite a slow pace. So we enable you through these different additional programs. And the whole idea is that we want to, again, ensure your academic success. We also look at financial quotient. And here we look at money matters. And I think this is probably one of the quotients that many people fear, but it really is about understanding how to manage your money better. It's about understanding your own budgeting and balance sheets. It's about understanding your own profit and loss sheets. It's about understanding what's happening in your own personal domain. Because if you're able to manage your money well, that means that that skill will naturally translate into the business environment. We also look at EQ and SQ. So we've spoken about the importance of emotional intelligence. Leaders need to be able to identify and understand their emotions, because that allows you to tune into the emotions of the people that you are leading and managing. That allows you to what I refer to as read the room. That enables you to manage your people to the best of your ability. So we spent quite a bit of time looking at EQ and SQ. SQ specifically is referred to as spiritual quotient. And while this is not necessarily focused on the religious slant, for those who have a strong religious affinity, absolutely it will come into play here. But what we really are focusing on here is value and purpose-driven leadership. It's about understanding your own moral and value compass that obviously will enable you to lead better. And we do a lot of exercises around developing your purpose, understanding what your why is. For those of you who haven't yet gone to watch Simon Sinek's video on finding your why, it's a wonderful one to spend a little bit of time unpacking. But we do similar exercises to enable you to do the same. Your purpose is that thing that is going to fuel you when you're exhausted, when you feel like you can't get up, on those days where you perhaps have put in a few too many hours in the office, you're feeling a little bit tapped, you're feeling a little bit drained. That is when you dig deep and you dig into that purpose, and that drives you to take that next step forward. And then last but not least, colleagues, we talk about ProQ. And professional quotient looks at how do we conduct ourselves in the professional domain? How do you show up? Literally, how do you enter the room? What is your body language? What is your tone of voice? What are the words that you use? Are you making eye contact with people when you are speaking to them? Are you ensuring that you are fully present, that when you are holding courageous conversations with people, that there are no distractions, that there are no cell phones that could potentially beep with a notification and impact your ability to stay tuned into the conversation that you are holding with somebody else? These all impact how we show up in the world. Remember that we talk about this element or this concept of personal branding. And by working on these different quotients, while you are working on and exploring the different modules through the program, you will naturally start to transform. You will naturally start to unlock different parts of yourself so that you can truly become the best version of yourself possible. Colleagues, we're not just about the classroom experience. We're also about instilling what we refer to as graduate attributes into our students. We want our students to be conscious leaders. We want you to go out there and make a difference. We want you to be ethically driven. We want you to understand the broader impact of your decisions on the individuals that you lead and on society at large. We also want you to think differently. I want my MBA students to challenge me in the classroom. We create space for you to be innovative and also creative. And We call on you to challenge conventional thinking. That's what you are here to do. You are here to challenge the status quo. You are here to seek alternative perspectives. You are here to look at things from different perspectives and to develop innovative ways to solve big problems. It's also about harnessing diversity. It's about leveraging the strengths in your teams. It's about understanding the strength that diversity brings to enhance collaboration and creativity. It's also about evidence-based decision-making. And we spend a lot of time here. And remember, I referred to metacognition, and that is thinking about how I think about things. And here you're going to learn how to make informed decisions. It's not about the gut. It's not about the emotion. It's about taking those data points. It's about taking the research. And it's about ensuring that you have the facts to make well-informed decisions. We've spoken about the importance of professional comportment that amplifies that pro-Q quotient that we refer to under personal mastery, but it's about high standards of behavior. It's about understanding how you communicate. And it's also about ensuring that your appearance aligns with professional expectations so that when you step into the room, people pay attention. And then it's about that local outlook. So our programs are really focused on ensuring that you develop a global perspective with an understanding of the local nuances, which are absolutely crucial for navigating the complexities of the business environment. So in essence, colleagues, with us, it's not just about the study. You are going to grow, you are going to connect, you are going to transform. You are going to become a conscious leader. And our global community and the entrepreneurial spirit that enables us to pivot and move forward with such agility will inspire you too to think bigger, to act bolder, and also to take those incredible ideas and to turn them into something that creates a lasting impact in the world. It's not just about preparing you for the job market. We are literally preparing you to change the game. So colleagues, just looking at how can you go about ensuring that you're able to complete this program? What are the financial support options that are available to you? And just very briefly, there are multitudes of ways that we can support you in your decision to study with us. So there are payment plans which we offer, and this is obviously to spread your tuition fees over manageable monthly installments. We also are familiar with and have many companies actually that offer company-sponsored bursaries. And also we have loan facilitation support, which we are happy to share with those of you who would be interested. We actually have one of our esteemed executives, our sales recruitment executive, on the call today with us too, Nolavuyo, who is standing by to answer any questions that you might have around the program and obviously around the financial support options that we have available to you. So please, if you would like to learn a little bit more, please do pop it in the chat and she will obviously get back to you pertaining to those options. In essence, colleagues, it is time to take your leap to greatness. And today what we've done is just very briefly, we've just scratched the surface of what it truly means to lead in an age of permanent disruption. We looked at this concept of strategic agility. It's not just about reacting fast. It's about sensing the shifts. It's about seizing the right opportunities. And it's about shaping cultures that adapt and thrive. You are standing at a pivotal moment, and it truly is the starting line of your leadership evolution. And we want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for tuning into this session. This is not just a learning moment, it is a leadership decision. It's one that signals your readiness to think differently, to act decisively, and to also lead with intention in a world that won't slow down for any of us. At Regenesys, we don't just build business acumen, we build mindsets, resilience, and leaders who are ready to take the world to the next level. So as you step into the question of what comes next, I truly want you to ask yourself, where do I need to send space? What bold action have I been hesitating on or perhaps putting off? And how can I shape a culture that's ready for what's next? Colleagues, the marathon of your future starts now. Let's run it together. Colleagues, thank you so much for your time and attention today. It's been an absolute treat to connect to this call today, and we truly look forward to welcoming you to your journey of transformation. Thank you, colleagues. All right, are there any questions, colleagues? We'll just give it a minute or two to see if there are any questions that are popping through. And if there aren't any questions, we will stand by just to obviously monitor the chat. But again, just a very, very big thank you to each and every one of you for connecting. Wishing you a beautiful rest of the evening. Please do reach out to us should you have any questions pertaining to the program. And again, we look so forward to welcoming you to Regenesys Education. Thank you so much for your time and attention today, colleagues. Anolabuyo.
Hi, Elise. I'm still here, just waiting for the questions on the box.
Anolabuyo, there's a question by Thabo Machwana in the Q&A. The question is, good evening. Please, could you provide details for financial support on bursaries? So colleagues, for those of you who are still connected to the call and you may have questions, please do pop them in the chat. There is the Q&A, the webinar chat. And Nolobuyo, our amazing Nolobuyo, is standing by to answer those. Right, colleagues, any more questions? Right, we have another question. Oh, there you go. Thank you so much for sharing, Tabo. We've got a question. Oh, let me put this on. We've got a question from Motlaba. Thanks very much. How do I register now? I was once your student on bursary due to challenges did not complete. How can I be assisted? Non-Kuba, non-Kaba. I hope I'm getting it right. Nolubuyo will respond to you, and then Ruben is asking, are you going to send us the slides for presentation? Ramesh, are we able to share the slides?
SM's teams can help us on that edition and recording one call.
Okay, wonderful. So Ruben, the answer is yes, we can. Nice, short and sweet. Any other questions, colleagues? We'd love to hear from you. Okay, so if you haven't yet seen it, colleagues, for those of you who would like to have a deeper discussion around the program, Nolubuyo has shared her details in the webinar chat. So please do copy those down for reference, and she will be standing by to obviously answer your questions, and will also obviously make contact with you telephonically to have conversations around your specific requirements. Ruben is asking, when is the next presentation? So Ruben, are you referring to the another master's type presentation? We actually hold many presentations, Ruben. So please do check our social media platforms. We promote all of the webinars that we run, and we have webinars running all the time across all of the schools. So each of my heads of schools ensures that we are putting these golden nuggets into the market. We have some incredible faculty who lead some amazing sessions. So please look out for those. Also, colleagues, we often have masterclasses and webinars, and also in-person events. So again, please look out on our social media platforms, because that is where we obviously share those details. Thank you for the question, Ruben. Thanks, Nokaba. So Ruben, a calendar for events, that's a very good question. The events team holds multiple events across multiple departments all the time. So to keep your finger on the pulse, because we pivot all the time around these, is again, I'd encourage you to stay tuned to our social platforms, also to our website. There's a lot of information there too. But we'd love to see more of you, Ruben. Let's see you in the classroom, Ruben. And then Rachel, what is your failure rate? I wouldn't want to enroll and fail. The program is worth it and costly. My fear is failure. Please also confirm. The program consists of modules only. No, there's research, Rachel. So Rachel, great question. What is your failure rate? We actually have a very, it's a substantially lower failure rate than other institutions, and I'll explain why. We are very invested in ensuring student success, and also we want to see our students cross the finish line. So we provide additional support sessions. I'll just give an example. My strategic financial management group in my MBA strategic financial management group that we had at the end of last year, funnily enough, didn't have a lot of strong finance gurus in the class. And they reached out to request some additional contact sessions with our faculty, our subject matter experts, and we went ahead and we scheduled those outside of the formal program schedule. But these are the types of things that we do to ensure student success. Not only that, but I also get onto calls with our students. So many students may be challenged financially, personally, maybe even in their professional domains. And we step in to assist our students when they need additional support. So we really are very hands-on, and we've also got an incredible support team. So my student support team is available to our students. You have access to them 24/7. Obviously, they're not going to respond 24/7, but you're able to send messages through to them, and they will respond. Or I know some of my student support team members are online in the early hours of the morning. I know because I've been up at 2 a.m. and one of them has been online at the same time working, which was terrifying. But it was amazing to see that in that period, because of the high influx of queries around examinations, she was obviously wanting to ensure that students were attended to. So I don't want you to fear failure at all. In the event that, for example, I'm going to talk about a worst case scenario because it's always a good idea to go there. Worst case scenario, you fail a module. We give you the opportunity to rewrite that module. Without having to redo the entire program, you will just rewrite the examination. And also, my faculty are so invested in our students that they will take time out to spend time with you on a one-on-one basis in the event that you are having challenges around some specific topic areas within a module. So going to the last section of your question is, does the program consist of modules only? No. So the program consists of 11 compulsory modules, 2 electives, and a research dissertation. Now, please don't let the research dissertation scare you off. Our research support, again, is incredibly robust. We schedule dissertation writing workshops. These are additionals and value adds to you. There's no additional costs to this. This is part of the program where we hold these different sessions where we walk you through the development of the different chapters through the dissertation. We ensure that you are matched to the right supervisor. So research is absolutely part of the master's, and it's a very important part of the master's because it's where you take all of that knowledge and it culminates in this research project. But it's certainly nothing to fear, Rachel. We will hold your hand through that research process to ensure again that we are able to cap you on the stage. Okay, let's see what else is popping through. Okay, we've got some contact details. Thanks very much to Marco and Penny and Vivian for building the great institution at Regenesys. I will definitely let them know, Nontlaba. We are in many discussions, so I will be sure to pass that on. Thank you. Any other questions, colleagues? Oh, anonymous attendee, I don't see what your name is, but we appoint a supervisor. So we have a robust list of internal faculty. We have 140 academics that we are able to appoint to supervisory duties. Obviously, not all of them are supervisors, but we have brilliant academics who are focused on and live, breathe, eat, and sleep research. So you won't have to worry about finding or appointing your own supervisor. Obviously, once we know what your area or your topic is, we will then match you to a supervisor who has the deep knowledge, insights, and expertise to guide you in that specific domain. I hope that answers the question. So no, we take that responsibility. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, any other questions? Please feel free to drop questions. We're still standing by to help. Oh, when you're going to present about the DBA. Ramesh, can you advise when have we got the DBA session scheduled? Is there one? I think there is one down the line. So Ruben, it's a good question.
Thank you, Elizabeth. We are still in under discussion, and we will definitely inform everyone once we finalize the DBA.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ramesh. So Ruben, absolutely, yes, it is on the cards because we are holding masterclasses across the different programs. So again, Ruben, and I think Ruben has shared his details, Ramesh. Is invited to that DBM session. I think he would very much appreciate.
Definitely.
Okay, holding space. Any other questions? All right. Colleagues, if there are no further questions, I'm going to take this opportunity to again wish you a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you for taking time out. Thank you for joining us. And we are looking so forward to welcoming you to Regenesys Education. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. Good night and God bless.